first thing you've got to identify is that problem. And the problem is the world's changed, but advertising hasn't, except us.
I'm going to sit with all the sales guys now and go through pitch. So that thing everyone keeps asking me to do, you're going to see. Right, sales guys, let's go.
Come on.
The world has changed, completely changed in the last 10 or 15 years. Social media has changed the world. Advertising hasn't changed. Advertising's budgets are still 70% of it spent on TV, the rest of it spent on programmatic, very little spent on social, but the world's moved to social. All the best brand activations happened on social. All the Billboard awards at Cannes were billboards that went viral on social. Well, look at the brands that are succeeding over the last 5 or 6 years, right? The Boohoo's, the Pretty Little Things, the Under Armours. All of these people have social first strategies. What social first strategy is starting the creative and the media on social and then expanding out into the other stuff. Do a social campaign and then create something that goes on TV out the back of the social campaign. 99.9% going to a creative agency, paying them to make a TV ad, then using those assets to just throw around everywhere else. The first thing you have to establish with the client is that, right? The world's changed. Do you have a social first strategy or not? The answer to that is no, they don't have a social first strategy unless it's one of 10 or 20 brands in the country, right? Then you can start talking about why go to the best people to actually take that on. But the first thing you've got to identify is that problem. And the problem is the world's changed, but advertising hasn't, except us. We buy live every minute that goes on, right? We haven't bought influencer deals already. There aren't people that we've bought 6 months ahead of time, so we're going to use them no matter what. We'll only use the right people. Every other media agency has already bought for the rest of the year. So whatever happens now, they can't change it. They're going to run the campaign in October they decided 18 months ago, no matter what. But we're getting too caught up in the actual detail of the pitch, in my mind, and not just letting people tell us what their problems are.
There's a new Netflix documentary which I really want to watch.
Great Hack.
Yes.
Who has seen an advertisement that has convinced you that your microphone is listening to your conversations?
Would you say that we're in the data game?
We are. Yeah, it's very relevant for us. So I imagine it's going to be one of those things which is so negative about everyone having your data and it's so scary. And
Where's your viewpoint on that? Where do you
I
stand?
won't worry about it. You can make your own decisions. You know the whole people need to be influenced to vote in a certain way or buy a certain product. At the end of the day, it still comes down to the person to make that decision. It's still a human being making a decision.
It's just more pervasive, the blanket of influence nowadays, as we live our lives online.
That's the smartest thing you've ever said.
Thank you very much. I read it in a book.
So we've got our first ever breakfast tomorrow morning. It's at the Public Hotel. We've got 24 lovely marketeers coming from all kinds of big brands. Well, first of all, we're going to be wining and dining. There's a big buffet breakfast. And then it's kind of a 2-part room, so it's perfect for mingling, networking, and then we move over and there's a seated table, and then I'm going to be doing a presentation in front of everyone. Jack is currently building the deck that I'm going to present.
Hey Jack, tell me a little bit about what's going on with preparing for the breakfast.
So we are preparing the deck for the breakfast tomorrow, just to kind of guide the conversation along, just including some contests, some prizes, which are very exciting. We could not forget our man Alex, which we're really excited about. But Alex, name tags, prizes, questions, and of course the breakfast.
People don't want to come to a breakfast about influencer marketing and just hear what the Goat agency is. What we're going to do is try and make it similar to the golf day in the UK, come up with a reason why they leave and want to talk about Goat, as well as what they've learned. We've got a bunch of prizes that we're going to give away. So at the beginning, we're going to explain that throughout there'll be opportunities to win the prizes, and then we're going to educate people on the market and some of the tips and tricks through the medium of case studies, and then we're going to be asking them questions throughout. The first person to answer the question correctly wins one of these lovely prizes.
These prizes look strategic.
So the prizes are also all Goat related prizes. Obviously you have the famous Chili's bowl. This is actually the first person not an employee of Goat to win one. The Alexa, because Amazon are a big client of ours, and we're going to be going through the Amazon Alexa case study. And then we have a lovely bottle of rosé, which is actually from Naked Wines, the wine subscription company. We're also a big client in the US. Nicely kind of tied in.
One of the questions that we're asking our audience is, who said, or from what movie is on Wednesdays we wear pink?
If you're watching the vlog and you know the answer, drop it in the comments below.
But then we go on to explain that we did a campaign for Beefy to Pink. we created a campaign around a similar hashtag, jumping on a cultural moment. So the hashtag was on Wednesdays we drink pink, and the activity from influencers only went out on Wednesdays, and it created an amazing bank of UGC as well as the IGC.
Is the lunch and learn happening in a tiny corner over there?
No. So what we're doing is we're going to turn this area into a space people can present from.
We've been doing this yesterday. It just works marvellously.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's such a nice open space as well.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. We're big fans of the Dailygoat, so a few familiar faces in the audience already. But yeah, it's really nice to, we've just been chatting to Kyle because we run a disability magazine, and we've been starting to help companies that are working with disabled people. Not so much influencer, but just broadly about social marketing. So for example, this wheelchair I'm in is very useful, gets me around everywhere. And so the company are looking at how they can grow their reach a bit more with people that may want to buy the wheelchair. So we've sort of been in this space of helping brands and disabled people connect. So yeah, I had a really helpful chat with Kyle about the sort of what you guys are up to and how well it's all going, but also yeah, to have this lunch and learn and just share a little bit of an experience of me as a disabled influencer.
Did you reach out to us?
Yeah, I had a coaching call that led to we should get disabled influencers to work with brands, and I looked on LinkedIn and found Harry, and I spoke to him a month or two ago on the phone, and then you had the idea to come in, didn't you?
Yeah, I just thought a little bit of a cultural exchange.
Yeah. And here we are. Yeah. Pretty powerful how it all works.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in.
Good to meet you. Fist bump, how are you?
Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you, how are you doing?
Hey,
how are you?
Nice
to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are you guys doing?
Cool, yeah, really nice.
All good?
Had a great chat with Kyle.
Great.
Good number of people turned up for the lunch and learn.
How's vlogging been for you? When did you start? Why did you start?
You're 16 days, 17 days in?
So my blog, it will be 10 years old next month. And when I started, I used to have a flip cam. I literally wanted to just talk about my experience of being disabled. And then very quickly got me as an influencer in that world. I was on BBC Breakfast within a year and wrote for The Guardian and Independent quite regularly. And then I kind of did that thing where you go, okay, so now I've quit my job and I'm running a business. What's the strategy? What's the marketing? And I cut back on content creation when I was trying to work all that out. And then actually I realised since getting back into it the last year or two that all sorts itself out. It's all about the content. From our point, it's more been about the social change. But we are also keen now in doing the kind of inclusive marketing stuff as well. So having disabled people seen as a customer base, that's our big thing we're working on now too.
Do you use Alexa or Google? You do?
Yeah, I was quoted in a Guardian article last month about how it was about assistive tech, but I made the point that I can now blast my tunes from bed when I can't actually use my phone very easily, or I can turn the light off because we've got the high thermometer and thermostat and the lights connected.
Because Amazon are a big client of ours, that we do all of their Alexa stuff. That feels like, in terms of a piece of tech that's perfectly positioned or can be perfectly positioned with disability and inclusivity, that's perfect. Obviously they just did a massive push with the NHS.
It's the kind of tech we love as well because it's not medically designed. It just has that side effect to be brilliant for people like Martin and myself.
Delighted that you could come in with the rest of the group and talk about what those guys are doing and how we can genuinely think about including that type of thing with brands. You know, when I talked about voice being a huge area where, of course, it's perfect for people with disabilities to utilize technology that has the ability to be activated by voice. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting discussion. Hopefully you can talk to a few people or have talked to a few people that watched it. But if you are someone who's got an amazing story to tell or something that you want us to learn, we do a lunch and learn every Wednesday with a whole company to listen to someone and see what they're doing. So if you do want to come in and talk to the group, then get in touch and put a comment down below.
Thank you so much for watching today's vlog. Like, subscribe and comment below anything you want to see in the next few vlogs, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.